La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Le basketball, c'est mieux à la radio. La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Le basketball, c'est mieux à la radio.
Hardest player I've had to guard. The hardest player I ever had to guard was.
Hardest player to guard.
Hardest player I've ever had to guard. That's a tough question.
The hardest player that I ever had to guard was Paul Pierce. He was at the end of his career. He was real slow. I didn't think nothing of it, but he was so smart. He was just losing me all over the place. He was playing chess while I was playing checkers.
The hardest player I ever had to guard was probably Derrick Rose, 7-game series. We went all the way to the wire, 7 games, and he put on a show. It was tough. He's very quick, very elusive, and very explosive.
Hardest player for me to guard would be Carmelo.
Melo was one of the toughest because, you know, he knows how to throw his body around. He knows how to play physical.
He's strong, quick, and he can score from anywhere on the floor.
The hardest player that I ever had to guard is Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Dirk.
Nowitzki the drive, puts up, shot, it's good, and a foul.
Such a skilled player. He can put the ball on the floor, he can shoot it, post up.
You have that height advantage, 7 feet 1, and it's hard to guard him.
Shot and his release is so high that you can't really do much to affect him. It's just whether he misses it or makes it.
Usually the great players on other teams, I let somebody else guard. So that was a good strategy that worked for me.
Toughest player I've ever had to guard would be Tim Duncan. Timmy D for sure.
Timmy for the win. Got it! Tim Duncan!
He's Mr. Fundamental, but he was just so solid. He was so smart, reading the defense, reading what they would give him, and just taking it.
Hardest player I've ever had to guard, I would say Tony Parker.
Prime Manu Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili, when he was in his prime.
His herky-jerky style, the fact that he was left-handed, it just made him tough to guard.
The hardest player I've ever had to guard is Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
You can't really take anything away from him.
He's a big with so many skills, and he's one of the best that's doing it.
Probably, I say James Harden.
James Harden, just because he's so shifty. The minute you stop him, you got to counter him.
You can feel like you're playing the best defense ever. He'll still make a tough shot in your face.
The hardest player I ever had to guard is probably LaMarcus Aldridge.
I had some really good battles with LaMarcus Aldridge.
Last year, I think LaMarcus Aldridge really outplayed me. A great post-up player, great offensive player, and he's a tough matchup.
The hardest player I've ever had to guard was Brandon Roy.
Early in my career, it was definitely Brandon Roy.
Blast from the past, Brandon Roy, he was tough.
Complete player, can shoot threes, can drive to the basket. He was strong, quick. Fortunately, he retired due to injury.
The hardest player that I've had to guard would be Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. I was an 18-year-old kid thrown into a game against the would-become MVP, and he just had his way with me.
Hardest player ever had to guard. When I started, it was Iverson.
Iverson behind his back. Yes!
His crossover was insane.
He was one of the most complete players. He was so fast, so good with the ball.
He was just amazing, and he was probably one of the hardest guards I've ever had to guard.
Nowadays, Curry just never stays still, always moving, always trying to shoot.
Steph Curry before KD got there, and Russell Westbrook after KD left, because I think their usage rates were so high, and they're such talented basketball players.
Russell Westbrook, he's all gas, no brakes. He's going 100 miles per hour at all times. He's one hell of a player, so he's probably the toughest guy that I have to guard in the league.
Steph Curry or Kyrie Irving?
Definitely Kyrie Irving, because he can do so many things on offense.
The hardest player I've had to guard is definitely LeBron.
LeBron James, it's hard to guard him. You know why? Because he's the best player in the league. He knows the game, he's really smart. It almost feels like he's always a step ahead of you.
What he does on the floor is just not even in this world compared to guys in this league right now.
The hardest person I ever had to guard, Dwayne Wade.
Oh, Wade, what a play!
I always say Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Long run out by Kobe Bryant. Behind. Oh! What did I just see?
The way he knew what the defender was going to do, he knew how they would react to his various moves, and his ability not to care what shot he took. It was always tough to guard.
Arguably the best player of at least my generation.
He's so gifted and talented, and then he's an assassin. He looks to score every play.
Hardest person I've had to guard was Shaq.
Hardest player I have ever got without thinking is Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal, because he's beast.
He was so big and strong.
In his prime, he was the hardest player to guard, period.
He was the most dominant center in the world back then.
Luckily, I didn't have to guard him very much. But the very few times that I did, it was painful.
He had me about 200 pounds, and I had not a chance in life of stopping him.
The hardest player I ever had to guard was probably Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
I'd say Kevin Durant.
Probably Kevin Durant.
Definitely Kevin Durant.
Just because of his length.
Just because of his length.
He has longer arms than me, and when I feel like I'm contesting his shot, I'm really not.
Durant will rise for three.
Basically a 7-footer with point guard skills.
Elite score from all three levels. Pull up, mid-range, 3-ball. He has everything.
He can kind of do a bit of everything.
Can do basically everything. There's nothing you can really take away. If he has a hot day, you know, he's going to make his shots.
La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Le basketball, c'est mieux à la radio.
So I give him praise and he let me do it. Lifting up his name cause I gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta do it, I gotta do it, yeah. I wish you could understand that I got to. I got to. Oh yeah. I got to. Gotta tell you about Shawty from the home tour, yeah. Got married to my homie back in 03. Straight up, the doctor said that she would never conceive. Cause Shawty testified that she got 3. You already know it. She gon' represent, she ain't afraid to show it. And you know it, yeah. So gon' get with it, like he already did it. You got to bless me with things I ain't even asked for. Blessing me always, he opening doors. And I be so geek cause I'm winning. I'm blessed so I might as well admit it. I got to. I know what I gotta do. What you gotta do. I stay dependent on you. Yeah. I know what people gon' say. I let them hate anyway. But I'ma stay loyal to you. Do what you tell me to do. Just show me love. So I got to show you love too. I be lifting up my hands cause I gotta do it. Do my little dance cause I gotta do it. Give him praise cause I gotta do it. I believe he made a way, he ain't gotta do it. So I give him praise and ain't nothing to it. Lifting up his name cause I gotta do it. Gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta do it. Yeah, I wish you could understand that I got to. I got to. Straight up. I got to. Yeah. I got to. Straight up. I got to. I wish you could understand that I got to.
Trying to kill my groove, trying to keep my cool, trying to take that too. More, trying to keep my cool, trying to take that too. Watch me get loose. Got 'em reaching for the last time. Got me herb with the moves. Hell yeah.
La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Le basketball, c'est mieux à la radio. La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Le basketball, c'est mieux à la radio.
Yeah, yeah. You know you're always on time for me. And know you never told lies to me. Tell me when you want me, Lord. You can call me your property. You never been rude, no. Don't know what's going on anymore. And I could try and do things my way, but it just ain't those same. How can I replace your love? You got so much to give, and you got so much to lend. I don't deserve what you give, Lord. I do not deserve your love. You got so much to give, and you got so much to lend. I don't deserve it. You keep giving me so much love, so much love, so much love, so much love. Whoa. Lord, how can I replace your love? You got so much to give. You give so much love, so much love. Whoa. You keep serving me the life, no waiter. I see me doing life your way. Trying to find you with a light locator. That's what I want you in my life for. Everything goes your way. I'll never let a thing go, no way. You know I got a thing for your grace. I shouldn't try to do things my way, no. How can I replace your love? You got so much to give, and you got so much to lend. I don't deserve what you give. No, I do not deserve your love. You got so much to give, and you got so much to lend. I don't deserve it. You keep giving.
That's the way to get your first bucket, Mark. The steal and the finish. Allow me to introduce myself.
bienvenue la famille, bienvenue.
They're going back and forth here, up and down.
Bienvenue
LeBron
à
to the rim, another.
toute la famille du basketball. Bienvenue à toute cette équipe qui est là à l'habitude, avec amplitude d'action, le parquet, le bas, allez, je peux parler on va avoir un petit particulier.
Do you believe that one? Didn't think he could get it. A one-hand redirect jam by Anthony Davis.
Drew's got Elton and he's got AD on the trail.
And throws down a highlight slam over him.
Paul George got some of that.
Jason Tatum putting it down with 5.5 remaining.
La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Basketball, c'est mieux à la radio.
So close and you keep me in company. Lord, how can I replace your love? You got so much to give, and you got so much to lend. I don't deserve what you give. No, I do not deserve your love. You got so much to give, and you got so much to lend. I don't deserve it. You keep giving me so much love, so much love, so much love. So much love, whoa. Lord, how can I replace your love? You got so much to give. You give so much love, so much love, whoa. So much, so much. Look at that booty, hey, hey, yeah. Look at that booty, hey, hey, yeah. Down south nigga on the west coast. Got a west coast bitch all on the floor of the boat. Said it ain't tricking if you got it, well I got it, nigga. Don't be getting mad cause my pocket's bigger. See a big booty, I'ma lose it. I just wanna get her in jacuzzi. Lay back, just chill while she do me. She had to lead that nigga, he was kinda fruity. Throw that thing back, shorty, all on my lap, ayy. Bet you can't do it. Love when she yelling my name, grabbing all on my chains. Girl, that booty is a nuisance. Let me worship it, it's like a monument, ayy. Put that booty in a movie, that ass is too legit. Look how she twerking there. I just wanna do it. I'm like one time, man. I just wanna hit it one time. I'm like, oh my, yeah. That booty bigger than the sunrise. About to pull up in a minute. Can I kick it for a minute? Girl, you know the business. I just really wanna feel it. I just really wanna feel it. Get all up in it. Look at that booty. Look at that booty. Girl, gon' toot it. Ay. Look at that booty. Girl, it got me acting foolish. On that clueless. Ay. Look at that booty. Strip club, I get all that love. And you know what happen when I get hot. All that stuff. And you know what happen when I get done. All that wine.
La radio qui vous parle de NBA, c'est Radio Off Basket. Le basketball, c'est mieux à la radio.
Know that.